Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be upfront and honest with you about this show, Bachelorette, okay? I actually attempted to do a few videos on this show earlier, like a few weeks ago, but I just couldn't bring myself to post them. You know, the material for this show is just, in my humble opinion, just so cartoonish and goofy.
Come on in.
Oh my God.
Today's group date is Barbie themed.
This weekend, John looks like a big sperm to me. You know, he looks terrible, to be honest.
Okay. The games.
Find something in the woods for us to eat, and you have 5 minutes to do so. Ready, set, go!
Go, bye.
Run!
The freaking some of the guys doing backflips.
Oh, that was so good.
I literally
The freaking pro wrestler.
Around.
Oh no, here we go.
I mean, it's just games and gimmicks. It just wasn't anything that made me think there was anything that I could get out of the show that would be meaningful for, I guess, what I try to get across in this channel, which is the importance of relationships and making wise decisions when it comes to relationships. That's whether they be romantic or just platonic relationships, you know? That's kind of why I watch these reality shows. That's kind of why I do these videos. And the first set of episodes of this show was just so, I just couldn't do it. I knew this show was gonna be a struggle for me when Charity's brother went undercover in costume on what was that, like the first episode, and pretended to be a bartender in order to figure out who was there for the wrong reasons.
I have a plan. It involves a disguise, and it's gonna help me really find out more about these guys. The reality is there's always bad apple or two. So I'm gonna be a bartender tonight, and my job is to make sure I can kind of spot that out without being a little too obvious. So tonight, I'm about to become undercover brother. This is gonna be fun.
I realized that some people thought it was cute, and yeah, I guess it was kind of funny, but it's still, you know, when you're trying to actually look at this and take it seriously, you're just like, why? Why? What I'm saying is, I think he did this more for his own anxiety than for her benefit. Like, he could eliminate every bad guy from this group, every last one of them, and only be left with good guys. But even if they're good guys, their behavior, their outlook on life, how they treat her might change. And she still has to learn how to deal with that. She still has to learn how to make appropriate decisions. And him being there and giving her this inside information isn't helping her. She still has to be able to make decisions, whether it be now or whether it be later. And I'm not so sure that she's developing those skills with her brother constantly being there, guiding her and holding her hand as she does it. If I was one of these guys, nonetheless, and I was on this show, and I see this woman's brother show up in costume, I would be freaked out. I'd be freaked out. Not so much because of the costume, but because if I'm looking ahead and I see this guy already getting himself involved in our situation, can I expect to see this guy's bald head on my front porch every time my wife or my girlfriend and I have an argument? Is that what I can expect? For that reason, throughout the show, I've been looking to see if she has made any changes since we last saw her on The Bachelor, and since that bad relationship that she's talked about so much. You know, and that brings me directly to Brayden, who I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Brayden is someone that she was definitely attracted to. There's no other explanation as to why he got so many chances, so many roses, and so many one-to-ones. Brayden is a perfect example of her potentially falling back into old bad habits. I was so proud of her for what she said while she was on like one of her last dates with Brayden.
Came off of today's date with Brayden a little uncertain. I am trying to like understand him, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm something that he wants. And it's like the natural nurture in me to be like, oh, let me help. Let me like be with you in this moment. Like that's just who I am. But at the same time, it's demonstrating old patterns for me.
Let me get for it.
Thank you. This time, I won't ignore the concerns or the red flags that I see early on.
Listen, as soon as I heard that, I was so proud. I was like, okay. She gets it. She understands what's happening here. And then as the episode continues.
Brayden, will you accept this rose?
Yes. What the I can understand allowing him to stay on the show, but I don't understand why she gave him a rose. And I'm just curious, you know, they eventually voted him off, but I'm curious that if he was a little bit more mature and able to hide his immaturity just a little bit better, whether she still would have gone with him, you know, and seen through a lot of the issues that would have made it difficult for them to make it in a relationship. I wonder if she would have seen it. But because he was so immature, I mean, he basically got himself kicked off. Like he was begging to get kicked off at one point. So I guess we'll never know. But I think she was definitely into him. No offense to Brayden, but you know, I don't know that guy, but I don't think that was the best choice for her, like at all. Okay, so as we follow along with the show, things seem to have leveled off a bit, and they actually seem like they're getting to a point where you can take the show seriously. All right, that's bottom line for me. You know, the important parts that I think is bringing up the fact that there is the race component when it comes to Charity and Joey. It was brought up a couple times, and then just going to visit each other's family, okay? Because that kind of sets up for me value systems and, you know, the level of involvement that one can expect with the other person's family. Okay, this is all more important stuff. And again, now that we've made it past all the other stuff, I think we're finally getting to see what might be something, a decision that is based on more serious characteristics versus stuff that's just there for entertainment purposes. Sean, by the way, okay, was really starting to bother Charity at the end there. The guy really had this entitlement thing going on, like he should have gotten a rose and he should have gotten a 1-to-1. It's like, man, you haven't been reading the room at all, have you? Okay, Dotton got 2 1-to-1s. Joey got 2 1-to-1s. And you got, I don't know what you would call that, like a double date? I don't know, a 2-on-1? I don't know what you would call that, but I don't think that 2-on-1 was to give you both an opportunity. I think it was just something that probably the producers came up with to create a little suspense. You know, things were not going well, and again, it was just kind of delaying the inevitable for Sean.
It's like, how can I be so sure of something and still have this girl unsure about us?
I know we probably both wanted the validation to get chosen.
A little bit more confused, truthfully.
It's all right to feel like that.
That kind of brings me to the next guy that I think had worn out his welcome on this most recent episode, Aaron B.
Dotton, my heart's racing for you. Meet me at sunrise. Charity.
Sounds like you're gonna be up early, bro.
It's not that I'm not happy for Dotton, it's just I don't know what the means. Can't really focus on your actual relationship when just keeps taking over. It confuses me that I just don't have a one-on-one here in New Orleans. This is not cool at all. Like, I'm actually here for Charity. Like, I'm not about to just act like it's all peaches and cream out here. It's not. Yeah, I'm pissed.
Okay, listen, Aaron B was actually a nice guy, okay? Great family, but I had a feeling he didn't have a real shot, okay? He didn't have a real chance. You know, she can use the word connection all she wants, but it just looks like she just wasn't that into him. Now, one of my problems with Aaron B came down to a couple things, okay? The first one was snitching on Brayden. For all of Brayden's faults, he was right about one thing. Aaron B only snitched because he felt threatened by Brayden and wanted him off the show because he felt like he was winning, which he was, by the way, at the time. Like, this guy just kept getting roses, kept getting 1-to-1s, and Aaron B wasn't getting the same attention. Now, the other guys were happy to see Brayden go, because they knew Brayden, for whatever reason, had an edge. But none of the other guys went running and tattletelling to Charity. It shows a little bit of desperation that I don't think you got from someone like Dotun. And I don't think you really got from someone like Joey, okay? Because I think they felt, they knew they had something going on there. And that was probably because they got the 2 1-to-1s, they got the 2, they got the roses. They knew they had a connection going on, whereas these other guys just felt pretty desperate. Bottom line, I suspect that Joey and Dotun are going to be the top 2 contenders on this show. This is despite Joey's uncle making an active attempt to his nephew's relationship. I mean, seriously, what the was that?
If there's been a challenge in our relationship, it's been he oftentimes is trying to be somebody that he thinks I want him to be. To be honest, today on the tennis court, I got a little vibe from him where I'm like, hey, are you trying to be somebody that Charity wants? If there's a concern I have, it's a little bit of that.
Okay.
How confident are you that you have the genuine Joey, the real Joey?
Yeah, I feel fairly confident in that.
I actually can understand saying that to Joey. Knowing what his history, whatever his history is, his uncle knows his history. And maybe he did see something at the tennis match, but saying that to his almost fiance, based on a tennis match, one that you surprised them at, and you didn't like the vibe. Dude, you showed up unannounced. Joey was probably nervous, wants you to like her. You then go and tell her, are you sure this is the real Joey? I mean, come on, man. Seriously, did the producers pay him to say that? Okay? Because no one in their right mind says that to the almost fiance unless you're actively trying to blow their up. Yeah, there's a possibility that Xavier makes it past next episode. You know, I'm not sure exactly how they are going to bob and weave around this, but Dotun is definitely going to win the last rose. Okay? I got a feeling Joey is going to be the other contestant, but Dotun for sure seems more mature. His family's fantastic, not to mention the height issue, right? The chemistry they seem to have, and I don't think there's been any hints of wavering on his part, whereas Joey's uncle inserted himself into the equation and Xavier is now just coming around to the idea of being married. Yeah, I think it'll be Dotun for sure. Anyway, those are my thoughts and a quick recap. There is another episode of Bachelorette coming up soon, and maybe just 1 or 2 more episodes in the whole season. Tell me if you agree or disagree, or who you think will win. We will see who was right soon enough. That's all I got, folks. I got nothing else. Take care.